So welcome. We're going to conclude this session here with a small soldering assignment. So we recently acquired these soldering stations and have done a few trial runs. Solveig has led those quite bravely, and they've come out quite well. We've been wanting to do something like this at the Science Center for quite a while. Largely just to introduce, this is not terribly technical. We're going to make very, very simple circuits connecting an LED lamp with a battery through a switch and a resistor. So with this assignment, we can discuss electronics and so on, but one of the main purposes of this is simply to sort of give the students some self-efficacy, give them an insight into how simple this really is, give them the feeling that this is something they can do. So we're going to ask you to distribute yourselves to the tables. It would be great if you could sit beside someone that you haven't sat beside yet, preferably not someone from your institution and so on. So we'll mix it up a little bit. And then we're basically going to walk you through it. These are step by step. We're just going to start with the first component and how you use the soldering iron, and then just add them on as we go. So there are the 5 of us, so just have a seat, and we'll help you as we progress. Excellent. There are 2 to 3 people per soldering station. So you'll be sharing, but that's actually a good thing because it's hard to do this by yourself. So I'm just going to introduce this little device to you. So this is a soldering iron. So it's quite hot. Okay, this can burn you, and it can melt the wire. So just be a little bit careful with this. And we can always put this in the little slot in between. Okay, they should be set up just above 300 degrees. So that gives you an idea of the danger. So each one of you is going to make a little flashlight. So it'll all be connected to this little printed circuit board here, and we're going to connect the components using the soldering tin. Okay. So I'm going to ask you to begin by taking a resistor, which is this little bit, and we're going to find the slot on the circuit board, which is marked R1, resistor 1. So basically you have to bend the 2 pieces and put it into the 2 holes on each side of R1 and then just push it through. Is anyone missing a, oh, there we go. There should be 3 and, or 2 together. No, there should be items for you over there. So, yes, you push it all the way down, just like that. Have you soldered before? Once, excellent. So this will double your soldering experience. When we solder, we are going to take this little soldering wire and we're going to flip the board on its back. We want to melt this and put a little drop on each end here. So we take the soldering iron, and it helps if somebody holds the thing, but just be careful not to burn your fingers. And what you want to do, you want to heat up this little ring around. Can you hold the board? Thank you. So you want to heat up the ring around the pen. And once that reaches the right temperature, you just put the soldering tin up to it, and it melts, and then you take it away, and it's stuck. So you put it in, you heat up the elements, then you put the tin in, and everything has become as it should. So if you 2 help each other out.
Okay, I'm filming here.
Þetta byrjaði bara á, so if you start with the Já, en þeir vilja hafa verið, já.
Vilja þið láta okkur byrja einhver aðri?
Nei, fyrir þau vilja að ég sé að tala þá ensku vegna sem ég mikrofon. So, I want you to begin just with the resistor and just one at a time, and we'll add these on later. Okay. And it helps if one of you holds the board like that, because otherwise it's wobbling.
Minus. I can hold it for you so you can. I learned to do it like this. I don't know why. Oh, this one
The way I teach it is you put the soldering iron to the contact, you heat up the contact, and then you just put a dab of tin. Because the tin only binds to the metal if the metal is also hot.
Okay, so I just do it like this.
Yeah, and then you just do like this. You hold it in, and then you just bring the tin. No, you hold the soldering iron to the contact. You heat it up, and then you just put it in, and take it out, and then the soldering iron as well. Yeah.
Okay. Put here a bit more than like you did that. Okay. Heat it.
How's it going? Excellent, gorgeous. And you've been cutting them off. Very good. The next component would be the switch. So there should be a switch with a blue button. And the switch goes in the square, which is marked S1. Ja, we zijn bara ítur in. Just push it in.
We missed the next step, so we cut it.
Okay, yes, now that it is solidly soldered to, you cut off the ends. And you, turn it that way. Very good. Excellent. And then the next component is the switch. The switch goes into the square marked S1. So, yes, so now we do exactly the same thing. We heat up the contacts, put in a dab of tin, and repeat 4 times. Close left, excellent. Oh, then you have to melt it again. So it's generally soldering iron, tin, tin, soldering iron.
Yes, great. And then you can cut.
Okay, so now we have attached the switch and the resistor, and we're missing the bulb and the connectors. So let's start with the bulb. There you go. And these are the multicolored red, green, blue that you saw yesterday. is the longer is the plus. So the flat side goes to the minus. And it often helps, after you've put the bulb in, to just bend the legs out a little bit so that it's a little bit more stable. Okay? Yes, you can if you like. Often helpful. And then there's the bulb. And this actually is quite critical. It matters which way the bulb is turned. Plus is the longer one. Minus is the one that is a little bit flat. I was showing you yesterday the bulbs with these button batteries. So you can see that the plus side is the bottom of the button battery, and the top little thing is the minus. So if the longer one goes and touches the bottom one, we light the thing up. But if it turns the other way around, nothing happens. So it's quite critical that the bulbs turn the right way compared to the battery. Yes. So here is your bulb, and it only works one way around. So the current has to go the right way through the diode for it to make a light. So if we attach it like this, the longer one is touching the plus side of the battery, and the shorter one is touching the shorter one, the minus side. So if we flip it around, nothing happens. Got it. Okay. Excellent. So now the last bit is the most difficult bit, because these ends are quite short and soft. So we're going to stick these in, and the red is the plus, and the minus is the black. So we're going to put these in here, and you're going to solder. It's a good idea to check just beforehand, because as I showed you, it matters which way the bulb is oriented compared to the battery. So just before we solder, we're going to try out whether this works. I'm just going to get a battery. So we'll connect this circuit of ours. So if you connect it to this end over here, there you go. And then you stick in the ends, red plus, minus black, and then we just have to sort of bend it a little bit so that we get a good contact. We press the button and it works. Excellent. So now we can quite confidently solder this in, red plus, black minus. Now we know that everything is oriented correctly. Thank you. There you go. The sponge here is to clean up, because when we get a lot of solder on, it basically just starts melting and steaming, so we can clean it up a little bit like this. Okay. They working? Yep. Excellent. So these LEDs are multicolored, and they just go through the little pattern. You can also get red ones, green ones, blue ones, and then mix up the colors, similar to what we were talking about yesterday. Yeah. You're done, and it works?
Yeah. All three.
Gorgeous. Well done. These also go, like, you can switch out the LEDs. You can make ones with different colors, and then you can mix up the colors. And you can actually see, like we were talking about yesterday about the primary colors. If you turn yours on and shine it onto your blouse, you can actually see that the colors, they're actually just red, green, and blue. Mm-hmm. So when they mix together to create yellow or something, they're actually just mixing together red and green. Glæsilegt. Wiggle around and see if one of these is causing the misfire. And just because it sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't, it sort of makes me think that it is part of the switch rather than some other component.
Hver sagði það? Það var þetta, það var...
Ja.
Já, það örugglega saman prógram. Þeir eru örugglega talað svo gul og græn appelsínu.
I think it's the bulb. See? So if we just add or fix these solderings, so this drop might not be able to connect properly between the ring and the pin. So when she is done, we'll just add in a little bit here.
Já, ég veit það, ég var búin að sjá það. Nefn var svona... Já.
Má halda hér í þig? Já. You can also try heating it from the other side. So that'll heat up the tin, and you just wait for a little bit for it all to melt. And usually just happens like that when it reaches the boiling temperature, no, the melting temperature. Okay. No, basically the more surface area that you have, the better, the easier it is to heat up. So like that. Here we go. Oh. How about, can you heat it up from the other side? I'm going to see if I can stick this through. Okay, so you'll heat it up. It's not melting through. Here we go. Yeah, a little bit more, a little bit more. Oh, okay, great. Remove it. Cool down, and there we go. Okay. I'll see if